owners, Alvin and JR here, counting down the top 5 Hour of Devastation commons and uncommons for Limited. We're taking turns, starting with my number 5, Open Fire. It's the red instant for 2 and a red that deals 3 damage to target creature or player. I really like this because it's a burn spell.
It's not the best burn spell, but it is a really good burn spell for the current metagame, and it's an
Yeah.
instant. So
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't have it higher on your list, but yeah, it's. What else can you say? My number 5 is Oketra's Avenger. 1 and a white for a 3/1. Exert it, it gains first strike.
I had that as my honorable mentions, but I really like the fact that it is a girl that's using Oketra's arrows as a weapon.
Yeah, I like it because the meta, if the meta is anything like Amonkhet Draft, it's gonna be really fast, and then
Yep.
3 damage where it's essentially the first 3 damage is free if your opponent doesn't play anything, and then after that you're doing 3 damage every other turn unless he has 4 power for toughness worth of creatures blocking it, which is not efficient. So yeah,
My number 4 is Claim to Fame. It's the aftermath card where you have 1 black to return target creature with converted mana cost of 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then Fame is a sorcery that gives target creature a +2/+0 and it gains haste until end of turn. I like it because it's instant recursion. And if you have the mana for it, it's a pump spell that gives haste. And early game, you just get it for value. And then late game, you can do both to have a surprise creature. And especially with the power of 2
with a
cost and
+2.
less. Yeah, 2 cost and less exert creatures, kind of like Alcatra's Avenger. It can
Oh yeah,
really
makes
be a
sense.
surprise kill. Or even
5/1. It's surprise 5/1 first
exactly.
strike. Yeah, I actually missed the card when I was doing my top 10. I'm still not sure though if it would have made my top 5, but yeah, it's definitely up there somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
it's clear.
yeah, my number 4 on the other hand was your number 5, which is Open Fire for the same reasons.
So my number 3 is it's actually not just one card. It's the cycle of the deserts, the
Oh
desert
really?
of the it's because they
Oh
are
wait, which
all
cycle?
the desert the cycling deserts that provide one mana of the color but comes into play tap.
The cycling
Um,
cycle.
yeah. So those because of how important deserts are, and how many things trigger off of it. In limited, in constructed, it's hard to place them, but in limited, I think, especially later on in the game, you can cycle them if you need to, and they power a lot of different cards that just you can use, like the 3/4 desert, or the desert that, or the creatures that deal damage if you have a desert in play, or just you can search for them using other creatures. So just they just interact with so many things.
Yeah, well, first of all, isn't it cheating to choose a cycle? But anyway, no,
I can just choose one. So
yeah. Anyway, though, I'm not sure the reason I don't have this that cycle in my top 5 is I'm not sure how relevant the cards looking for deserts will be, because other than that you don't really want lands as much as everything else if they're not really doing any fixing. So depending on how good the cards that trigger off of deserts are, they might be really good cards for the limited set.
that's fair. It's not yet a clear thing, but there's just so many cards. I'm sure
Yeah.
one of those are going to be useful.
Yeah, but one
Um,
of them, it won't necessarily be that enough. I mean, to put them in the top 5. Yeah, my number
that's
3 on the other hand is Ambuscade. So it's 2 in the green. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and it deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So it's not a fight card. It's just +1, and it smacks something off of the board.
It kind of reminds me of this Kaladesh card. One in a green that gives your creature, I think, trample, and deals that damage equal to its power.
The cartouche. It's not.
No, it's not. It's not a cartouche. Back in
Oh
Kaladesh.
yeah, they kind of have one of this in
But
every
it
set.
doesn't give a plus one plus zero. Yeah, I can see why the plus one plus zero can also help. It's a little
Hmm.
bit of a pump, but at the same time, it's also kill.
It's just
So yeah,
the kill card, and it's an instant, which makes it
yeah.
really good.
Oh yeah, it's an instant too.
Yeah,
The other one I think is like a sorcery though.
yeah.
The one in
I
Kaladesh.
think it's yeah, but it the because of the bigger plus, it that matters. It might be too good if it's you know um
If it adds more than that, yeah.
yeah.
Moving on to number two. My number two is Obelisk Spider, which is the multicolor one black green creature spider with reach. That's 1/4. And whenever Obelisk Spider deals combat damage to a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on that creature. And whenever you put a put one or more -1/-1 counters on a creature, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. This is really really good. I think it's super strong because there's so many things that give -1/-1 counters in both
Yeah.
black and green. It doesn't have to come from the spider. It's a drain. It's defense. It's
Yeah, the reason I didn't have that in my list is because it's a multicolor card.
Mhm.
And if I'm gonna choose an uncommon, I want to choose an uncommon that would pull you into the color because it's not like you're gonna get a lot of them. You're gonna probably get one of that
Mhm, mhm,
in your draft. So I'd only get it if I'm already in one of the colors. There's
mhm,
no way I'm gonna first pick that. So
mhm.
it is a good card.
I feel it's just too strong that it kind of pulls you into the black because that's what black and green does. But how about you? What's your number two?
My number two would be Ominous Sphinx, which you probably hate because it's a
Oh,
Sphinx. But it is a 3 blue blue for a 4/4 flying. That alone is good enough. I mean, it's more than good enough. It's really good. And
mhm.
whenever you cycle or discard a card, target creature an opponent controls gets -2 -0 until end of turn. So even without the additional text, 5 mana for a 4/4 flying is good. It's
Yes,
really good.
yeah, it is. I think the next closest is like a white 5 cost like 3/3 or
Yeah,
four.
you gain 3 life when it comes into play. But yeah,
Yeah.
when it comes to flying creatures, 3/3 and 4/4 is a big difference.
Yep.
It doesn't matter with the X1s and X2s, but 4/4s and 3/3s, big difference. This in limited, once you if you get to untap with this, you're probably winning the game.
Yeah. It's I 100% agree with you there. Not as flashy because it's but the thing is
I
it's
guess you
super
don't have it on
solid.
your list because it's not.
It's because it's not that flashy and
Uh,
it's a sphinx. I have
oh
no
yeah,
sphinxes in my list. All my lists,
your
even the
number one
list.
is probably a bird.
No, actually, my number one
Mhm.
is Supreme Will, the 2 and a blue instant that allows you to either counter a spell unless its control plays 3, or you look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the
Oh,
bottom
the
in any
mana
order.
leak.
The Mana Leak slash Impulse.
This is not on my list because I'm not for counter spells in limited unless they
Mm.
cycle. I mean, this kinda technically cycles, I
It
guess.
cycles even better because you look at the top 4.
No, but
So
it costs
on
3
yeah,
to
exactly.
do
So
that.
so if you're ahead, turn 1, turn 2, you're ahead. Turn 3, your opponent you leave 3 up. If they cast something, you counter it. If they don't, you cycle for 4. You dig for 4. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah. No,
it's
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's playable. It's good. It's
yep,
just not number
number
one
1.
material for me.
And I think it's also surprisingly because even though I hate Sphinxes, I have an affinity. I have like my heart is close to blue and control, but that's the one of the biggest reasons why I enjoy the fact that I can leave my mana back and then counter your spell. And if your opponent doesn't want to do anything on that turn, because of the threat of the counter, then you can still be ahead by looking at the top 4 and drawing a card. So
My number one, which I'm totally surprised is not even in your list, is Overcome. It's 3 green, and creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. It's
uh,
Overrun.
it's
They have
plus two plus
tried to
two, right?
remove Overrun from the game for so long because it's too good. And now they kinda have it back and it's not on your list.
It's the plus two one, right?
Yeah.
it's
And
plus two
trample.
plus two.
You essentially
It's just that
you if you play first and you untap on your sixth turn and play overcome rather, you win.
Mhm.
It's like there's no way you're gonna lose after playing overcome on your sixth turn. And I'm saying sixth turn because if by the fifth turn there might, I mean, it might not be enough damage that you could deal yet. But by the
Mhm.
sixth turn, and because you don't have a 5 drop yet, but by the sixth turn you untap and play this, there's no way you're gonna lose. Unless it gets countered, I guess. Fine. But,
With supreme will.
yeah, but,
But yeah, I agree. I didn't really have a lot of greens because I saw how Amonkhet was really white and blue aligned and how fast it was,
it was
and
white and
thinking of
red aligned
oh,
for
sorry, white and
draft.
red. Yes, yes, white and
Yeah.
red aligned, and so how just because of the speed of that, I didn't think that green might be as good. But that's it's a top five. It's not a top 10. I do agree that that's a very very powerful card.
It should be on your list.
Uh,
Anyway,
Maybe there's a Sphinx there somewhere that I didn't see in like the card.
maybe I put the Sphinx there just to.
That's
No,
this
no,
the
the
part of
the
Sphinx.
Sphinx is good.
So tell us what you think of our list. What your top five cards would be.
And see you in the next video.